Hello, and welcome to Now Channel. In the vast ocean hides a sea monster known as the Giant of Nuclear Power. Carrying a terrifying load of nuclear strength beyond imagination. The Typhoon, a living legend of Soviet technological prowess. Since its development in the 1970s, the Typhoon-class submarine has been a testament to the Soviet Union's technological ambition to create an unrivaled naval force. With impressive dimensions, approximately 175 meters long, and weighing around 48,000 tons, the Typhoon is not just an ordinary submarine. This submarine is equipped with 2 nuclear reactors and has a unique design. Inside, there are deadly weapons capable of destroying entire continents. It is considered one of the most formidable weapons, symbolizing the strength of the Soviet Navy and marking the fear during the Cold War. Today, we will uncover the legend behind this nuclear leviathan. In the late 1960s, the United States and the Soviet Union had achieved a balance of nuclear power. Both sides realized that any attack would be met with equal destruction. Efforts to prevent nuclear war led to agreements to limit the number of weapons. The nuclear arms race shifted from quantity to quality, focusing on creating more powerful, effective, and long-range systems. Submarine-launched ballistic missiles became a primary focus. The United States developed the UGM-96 Trident missile, while the Soviet Union developed the R-39. Although the Typhoon had an advantage in destructive power, it also had weaknesses. One was the low likelihood of serious damage to the submarine despite being attacked. This was due to the submarine's strong structure. The Typhoon was also equipped with a rescue chamber that allowed for quick evacuation of the crew in emergencies. The Typhoon-class submarine is a very deadly weapon, and, along with its Ohio-class counterparts, is considered a main symbol of Cold War tensions. The development of the Typhoon-class submarine began in the early 1970s. With engineers from the Rubin Design Bureau tasked with creating a truly innovative submarine. The result was an entirely new design, a catamaran-type submarine. The idea was simple, yet sophisticated. 2 large titanium alloy pressure hulls were built parallel inside the submarine, housing crew quarters, power plants, and most of the submarine's equipment. The torpedo compartments and aft section were housed in separate pressure hulls, along with the submarine's central control room. The main weapons, 20 ballistic missile silos, were located in the space between the 2 large hulls. All these structures were encased in a steel hull covered with special materials to reduce detection. The submarine had a very high buoyancy. Almost half its weight was ballast water. This was done to ensure the submarine had a minimal draft in port and could float more easily during surfacing. The Typhoon was designed to sail in the Arctic, and these solutions allowed it to break through ice up to 2.5 meters thick. Because such a large submarine required a lot of energy, the Typhoon was equipped with 2 190 megawatt nuclear reactors and additional steam turbine installations. This power plant provided energy for 2 large 7-bladed propellers, which were shrouded to reduce noise. They could accelerate this giant submarine to speeds of up to 25 knots or approximately 46.3 kilometers per hour. Of course, Typhoon-class submarines had a significant impact on the working conditions of their crew. With their large size and new design, these submarines allowed for the addition of various recreational facilities such as gyms, swimming pools, saunas, and more. Therefore, these submarines were often referred to as floating hotels. Moreover, the safety level of these submarines was very high due to the compartments located within separate pressure hulls. This reduced the risk of the submarine being destroyed even in the event of serious damage. For example, if a torpedo explosion, like the one that destroyed the Kursk submarine, occurred, a Typhoon-class submarine would likely not suffer serious damage. In 1991, there was an incident on one of the submarines in this class, the Arkhangelsk, where a training missile exploded in its launch silo. Although the explosion and resulting fire could have severely damaged a regular submarine, for this giant, it was considered merely a disturbance and a reason to return to port for repairs. 2 rescue chambers were provided on this submarine to anticipate disasters, allowing for the quick evacuation of the entire crew, which usually numbered around 160 people. Now, let's focus on the main weapon of the Typhoon-class submarine. They could carry up to 20 R-39 ballistic missiles, known as SS and X-20 Sturgeon, according to NATO. As the largest and heaviest submarine-launched missile in the world, they were equipped with 10 individually guided warheads, each with an explosive power of 100 kilotons. This submarine could launch all its missiles quickly, even from a depth of 55 meters, and could strike enemies with 200 nuclear bombs simultaneously. This was a serious reason to think twice before attacking a country with such powerful submarines. Moreover, these missiles have undergone technological updates, and in the 21st century, Typhoons became the primary platform for testing the new SSN-30 Bulava missile. Of course, with a submarine of this size, they were not meant to engage in close combat with other ships and submarines. However, as a precaution, the Typhoon was equipped with 6 torpedo tubes, capable of firing conventional torpedoes or special rocket torpedoes. To produce such a large vessel, the Submarine plant had to undergo significant upgrades. They even built a new construction site, which became the largest object of its kind in the world. The construction of these submarines was carried out at a very intense pace. In fact, in July 1981, the first Typhoon-class submarine had already entered the trial program, beating its American competitor, the Ohio-class submarine, by a month. By the end of that same year, it was already active in the Soviet fleet. In total, before 1989, the cold northern waters saw 5 more Typhoon-class submarines. The operation of these submarines was very intense, and they managed to show excellent performance. In 1987, the third submarine of this class, the Submerged, embarked on a long mission in the Arctic. It spent nearly half a year at sea. Their journeys were not always smooth. In 1986, the Submerged collided with the British submarine HMS Splendid. But fortunately, both vessels did not suffer serious damage. Then, in 1991, a rocket explosion occurred inside one of these submarines, the Arkhangelsk. Additionally, in the mid-80s, one of the submarines got caught in fishing nets. Indeed, no one had ever caught such a big shark before. Of course, the Typhoons became a highlight when they launched their entire arsenal almost simultaneously on several occasions. Although it looked terrifying, these launches were part of weapon disposal, and the missiles were destroyed in the air. Nevertheless, the prowess of the Typhoon submarines and their Ohio-class counterparts made them real symbols of the Cold War. Ironically, the fear of their power might have been what drove the leaders of both superpowers to sit together and seek peace. However, operating such sea monsters was neither easy nor cheap. When the Soviet Union collapsed and funding for the Navy dwindled, most of them had to be retired, with some even being dismantled. By 2017, only one submarine remained in operation, modernized and named Dmitry Donskoy. This submarine is now used as a testbed for new weapons, particularly the Bulava ballistic missiles. By the mid-2020, all Typhoon-class submarines had been retired, making way for a new generation of more modern and efficient Borei-class submarines, although they are smaller in size. The retirement of the Typhoon-class sea monsters marks a new chapter, ending the era of mega submarines. And we may never see sea monsters as formidable as the Project 941 Akula nuclear submarines again. They have served their role well, showcasing the terrifying power of nuclear naval forces, deterring their use, and now they will be immortalized in the history of shipbuilding, sea voyages, and military operations. This is the end of this episode. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next Now episode.